Hi, I'm Jackson, and this is,
I'm Jake Shimobukuro.
and you're watching Eclectic Arts Media.
Hearing the band come together and our three voices blending, I really enjoyed recording that one.
Do some demos at home.
Yeah, because teamwork makes the dream work.
Right. They may be super confused, like, what is this woman talking about? Fair enough.
Hi, I'm Shannon Lee, and you're watching Eclectic Arts Media.
Nice. Very good.
and I need to keep as much hair as possible because, particularly in Hindley Street, no one's got hair. You'd fit right in, Mark. So
eat French fries a lot and stuff. You can still eat that here, but still.
I haven't gotten to do a dual role like that before, where you're doing two totally different things.
Shove with love.
Well, good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you are in the world. I'm Mark Sugiyama from Eclectic Arts Media, based here in Seattle, Washington. And thank you so much for joining me on this Friday, the 17th of April, 2026. Happy Friday, everybody. And I'd like to thank Halcon Negro for joining me earlier today. It was great getting a chance to catch up with him once we kind of worked through the technical audio issues. And he's got a lot of wrestling matches coming up, including this weekend. And actually, he's got things, I think, every weekend, it sounded like. So he's always been a great guest, and I look forward to trying to see him actually in person at a wrestling event. And speaking of which, coming up, I have at least 3 or 4 other live streams that are getting in the process of getting confirmed for next week. And so please follow me as Eclectic Arts Media, one word, on Instagram. That's where I post everything first. And then some of that information migrates over to other social media platforms. And if this is your first time joining me on my YouTube channel, if you do me a huge favor, please hit the subscribe button, as well as the notification bell. It helps with that algorithm and everything else that's going on. I'm so used to saying, and please follow me on Twitch, but I'm not no longer on Twitch. I'm suspended from Twitch right now, as I mentioned during Halcon's live stream earlier today. And that had to do with the interview that I had yesterday with a guest from the adult world, who I've interviewed. I don't know how many people now. It's probably be pushing 30, 35 different interviews I've done. And Twitch decided that they didn't like it. So I'm not on there, but I'm glad that I'm here on YouTube. So, you know, knock on wood, nothing happens there. And if you're watching this and you would like to ask my guests a comment during this live stream or any live streams I have in the future, all you have to do is join the YouTube channel, and you should see the live chat box, and you can put in the question, and I will fold that into the conversation as we go. So please be aware that if I'm talking, obviously, or if my guest is talking, I'm not going to interrupt them by just throwing your question in there. I do see it. I'm just kind of waiting around for the right moment to do so. And also, if you are really wanting to support what I do, there's a PayPal me and a Venmo link in every description of every live stream I do, only if you're in a position to do so, but it greatly helps support what I do. This streaming service costs me money every month, and so does this that I keep talking about that is semi-functional. But in any event, I'm glad to be here, and let's get started. My guest today is a longtime content creator. She has recently been making waves in the mainstream video world. She has worked for such companies as Elegant Angel, Team Skeet, and DP Divas, among others. Please welcome to the Eclectic Arts Media virtual studio, Miss MANDII ROSE.
Hello.
Hi, MANDII. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing really good. Thanks so much for taking the time today. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, and as I was telling you, before we went live and everything, I'm glad that I can hear and see you. It's kind of important when I'm doing interviews.
Exactly. You got to see the person.
Yeah, for sure. So let's kind of talk maybe with what's current, and we'll kind of work our way back. And you're going to find out that I have a very random mind. So sometimes something pops into my head, and then I just start going on some tangent. And also be aware that it's like I'm talking right now. It's very conversational. So if something comes up in your head, or you have a question or random thing, feel free to ask it. So I'm not question answer. I can't stand those kind of interviews actually. So let's see. So you've been doing, when did you start doing the mainstream video work? Like, I know it was last year, but like how far back last year?
So I'm coming up on my year anniversary. It was April, I believe the 20th or 28th, somewhere around those lines. So it's a year now.
Okay. And now that you look at like, if it's been almost a year, when you did your first scene to maybe your latest scene, how have things changed for you in doing video work?
It's just more exciting. Like there's a lot more, not like enough me time anymore, but I mean, there's enough going to do a lot more things time. So I'm excited for that and happy. So.
Okay. And since you were doing so many years of content creation, were you pretty comfortable going into the mainstream video world?
I was, yes.
Okay. I was just talking with my guest last night about it must be kind of shocking for someone who hasn't been doing content creation and just goes from nothing to mainstream video stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, yeah, she couldn't imagine it's kind of like, working your way up kind of a thing.
Right.
And instead of just jumping into the deep end and like going, well, I hope this is okay or whatever. Was it, speaking of that though, when you did your first few scenes for mainstream video companies, did you find it, since there's, you're on a set and there's, multiple people around and all these other kind of things, was it kind of a bit of pressure versus when you're doing your own content creation?
Yes, because like when you're doing your own content, you're yourself doing, you're like filming your own self. And then you're in a room with like cameras, a lot of people, directors telling you how to, do things and how to look great on camera. And it's a whole different, a whole different thing, but it's also a good thing too, because you have direction and what to expect. So
Okay. All right. No, that's true. And for everybody, it's always going to be a learning curve too. So the more shoots you do and the more people and companies you work with, you kind of pick different things from these people of what you liked and maybe what you didn't like, and carry that forward with, what you do. Just out of curiosity, what was your first type of scene that you did for a video company?
so it was with Hot Meal Fucks. And it was a MILF scene, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And was it straight sex? Was there anal involved? Was there multiple people?
So it was just straight, it was sex. And my second one was anal.
Okay. All right. And I see we have a question that came in. Hi, Jake. And so Jake's saying hello to you, Mandy. And
hello.
Jake's wondering, what's your favorite thing about the industry?
The favorites, meeting new people and working with people that are very like super, I don't know, like they're amazing people out there in the industry, and getting different ideas from them is really good too. And yeah, so it's really nice. It's really nice to be in the industry. I love it.
Okay. And I see Jake has a second part. He says, what do you like about the industry versus prior to the industry?
Not too sure.
Okay.
Yeah, not too sure about that. Because like prior to the industry, I mean, I've been in the industry for a year, so like I wouldn't really know what was the other year because I wasn't following. So
Okay. All right. Fair enough.
yeah.
And maybe we can kind of jump into that. You just mentioned that you had your first scene was like a straight sex scene, and then the second one you added in anal. Was anal something you were doing in your content creation, or was this something new that you did on camera?
No, I do anal. I love anal.
Oh,
I love anal.
all right, so there's some things to unpack here. And so when it was brought up to you, then clearly you probably had zero issue then doing a video scene for a mainstream company doing anal then.
Yes. I mean, at that time when I first filmed the anal scene, I was a little out of practice, you know, due to the fact that like I wasn't doing a lot of anal content. I was doing a lot more other things. So, you know, getting back into that routine of anal when I went to go film, you know, it was an easy breeze. So
Okay, well, and here's my randomness.
go for it.
What do you tend to do to prepare if you know you have an anal scene to do?
So a lot of stars are different. Me myself, I take like I want to say a good 72 hours to do so, because I feel like I don't want to make a mess, you know, you get what I'm saying. I don't want to make a mess. So I want to make sure like I'm clean, you know, respect for for the person that I'm filming with as well. And, you know, just pretty much it's butt plug, from butt plug to maybe a fuck machine, you know, so.
Okay, and do you have to, in that 72-hour period, are you kind of watching what you eat?
No, I don't eat.
Okay,
I don't eat.
wow.
Yeah, I don't eat. Water, lots of water.
Wow, so you're basically fasting for 72 hours before you do
Pretty
an anal
much,
scene.
yeah.
Oh gosh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you're right. I've had different guests tell me that you know, their routine is, you know, I don't do anything for 48 hours. Some of them can kind of get away with maybe they have a little bit of something to nibble on, but they have to watch what that is before they do it, because like you just said, they don't want to have a mess and, you know, disrespect the workers and the director and everybody else.
Right.
Wow, 72 hours. That's a long time. Okay. Does that also mean that's the same type of thing like when you're doing your own content creation, you're doing the same thing, like you're waiting 72 hours?
So mainly some of my fans, they like a little bit of like, you know, something there, like not,
Okay.
you know, not to say like a gross kind of scene. So maybe 48 hours for sure.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I've read about that, and some people are they're definitely looking for I guess you could say a little evidence, shall we say?
Yes.
I was saying this last night too, that I every time I think I know, like I have a pretty good idea of everything that goes on in the adult world, I'll find something like, oh, I didn't know about that.
Yeah.
And I use
It's something that's going to be like, oh wow, really? Can you tell me more?
yeah, it becomes like there's maybe like a an overall topic of what people might be into, and then there's these sub things underneath it, and that's when they go, oh, this is kind of interesting. What is this? I know I was talking last night about, there was a guest that I had many years ago, and she said, oh, I like everything, Mark, but the one thing she didn't like was like electricity. And at the time, I'm like, what is she talking about? And I went and looked.
Okay, I get it.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
went and looked up, and I'm like, oh, I didn't know people did that.
There's a lot of people that are into the electricity.
Yeah, that's definitely a pain pleasure thing.
Yeah.
And she was like, yeah, that's my limit. I think she did one scene like that. She said, I'm not doing any more of that stuff. I said, okay, you know, everybody has their limits.
Right.
But it's always been educational for me. So if you've done, and like I mentioned, you've worked with DP/DV, so clearly you've done a DP. If not, maybe have you done more than one DP on camera?
I have only done one DP so far.
Okay. And was that also something that came from your content creation years that you're okay with it, or was it something new?
It was something I was doing already.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. So that, you know, so this really does kind of lend itself to people that are watching this, if they're starting off with their content creation, or maybe they're thinking about getting into it, that you can kind of work through that stuff then, and then figure out if you're going to go to mainstream video, hey, I'm already like a seasoned pro. I already know what works and what doesn't work and what I don't want to do. So just having more people and more cameras and all this kind of stuff really isn't that much of a change.
Right.
Okay. So that's kind of segue into that then. So for everybody out there watching, how many years have you been a content creator?
So I've been a content creator for 5 years now. Yeah, so
Okay, and then what led you to start your content creation?
you know, I was just bored, like doing like a, everyday job, and I'm very sexual, so I was like, you know what, I'm gonna test the waters with the cami, and it hit. It went really good. So and I like it. I like to relate, to sexual things and help people, so
Okay, so that was, let's see, so we're talking like what, 2021 then, coming out of the pandemic?
pretty much, yeah.
Okay. All right, so you started camming and then you started doing like fan site work then too?
Yes.
All right, and what was it like let's say your first, I don't know, 2 or 3 months, like if you're on OnlyFans or something else, what was it like when you just started, building your, your following up?
It was just, basically to see what my fans, wanted to do, and how I could help them. And also like what I like to do as well. So I mean, it's whatever, however the fans want, like, and whatever the fans want. So, and I'm here for it.
Okay, so that sounds like you're open to suggestions and questions from your fan base to see, hey, are you ever going to do this, or would you consider doing this or wearing that, or and I'm a little not up to speed on everything when it comes to fan site work. Do you have things that you also sell, like if it's pictures and worn stuff from a video session? Do you do that kind of thing too?
I do, yes.
Okay, is that something does that stuff sell well?
It does when I put it on mini vids, but like on some other things, only because I need to get a little bit more reach out there. So, yeah, so I need to
Okay.
find other companies like to help me.
Yeah, no, for sure. I'm an old fart, so I'm thinking back to like when the internet really started to boom in like the 90s, and so girls had their own specific site, and they had group ones too, but it's a $14.95 a month, and then the whole thing started coming when they started having their own stores. So like they would take a picture of them wearing if it's a bra or panties or what have you, and then they would sell it, and I'm like, oh, that's actually pretty smart, because it's like for sports, it's like a game used thing that was worn. So then the fans are like, oh, I actually have something that she did that photo shoot with or did that video thing with.
Right.
And then it just started like ballooning up. And again, it makes perfect sense from a business standpoint to have things out. And also if you're doing fan site thing, then it's a nice kind of thing for the fans if they opt into it. You don't have to buy something, but if you choose to, here it is.
Yeah, I have plenty of plenty of dildos that I've sold, panties.
Oh.
Wild things that you would never like guess that I've sold, but yeah. But yeah, I mean, I love to give my fans whatever, I was wearing or whatever I had in me.
Okay. Yeah, well, and so I'm assuming, do you do custom videos too for your fans if they pay?
I do, yes.
Okay, all right. Have you ever had something where you're like, you know what, I don't know if I'm okay with doing that. Maybe next time or maybe down the road?
Yeah, I've had probably like I want to say maybe like 2 or 3 of them. Yeah.
Okay. All right, but so that's actually not a bad ratio then. That means most of them you've been, this is fine, that's not an issue. I'll be happy to do it.
Yeah, and there's like, there's categories to what guys, go online or females go online to look for, and that fan base would be, they'll look at the people that they want to have, an interaction with and what they like, and pretty much it's all right there for you written down. So like, basically they're like, okay, well, I want her, I'm gonna follow her, she's my fan, like, yeah, or she's my person I want to see, and pretty much it's like that.
Okay. Oh, yeah, and that makes sense. Again, for me,
Mhm.
back in the old days, going into like a video store when they had VHS and all this kind of stuff, that you'd be looking at a box and be kind of like, so, this is what I'm into, kind of a thing. And maybe there's multiple people and multiple things that they're doing. I used to work at a video store right out of high school, and that was an education going into the the adult saloon door area, and like I'm like turning the boxes around as I had to put things back, and I'm like, I didn't even know you could put something there. I didn't even know you did that kind of stuff. It's really interesting. And one of the funniest things is I remember I had a customer come in once, and he was asking for a certain thing from the adult section. I didn't have a clue what he was asking. So do you have a video that has this? And I'm like, man, I don't know. Just go look. Just go look through everything.
You're like, look, I'm getting bashful. Don't ask me.
Yeah, I mean, I'm barely old enough to actually watch this stuff legally right now. So, and this dude is probably like at least in his 40s, if not 50s. So I'm like, go whatever your fetish is, and I don't care what it is. Go find it. Don't ask me. And he did come out with a few boxes. So that's why.
I'm like,
yeah,
that's really hot.
That's when I was looking at it, trying to figure out putting together what he said and what he was looking for. I'm looking at the pictures on the back, and I'm kind of like, oh, okay. Now I know the next time somebody asks me, hey, yes, we do have that, and they're on shelf, 3 or whatever in the corner.
Awesome. I love that.
Yeah. So let's kind of go further back. I've seen some of your social media posts. It looks like you work at a club.
I do.
Okay. How long have you been doing that?
So I've been doing it for a little over, I worked at various clubs. So the one that I'm working at is my longest one that I've worked for. So about I want to say a little over 3 years now.
Okay. All right. So correct me if I'm wrong. So the timeline was actually the content creation came first?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So that came first.
I went backwards. I went backwards for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, no, this is interesting. That's why I asked the question, because I thought in my head it's probably club content video, and there's no, content was first. Like you said, you're kind of interested to see what was out there and how it would go. And then, so what got you to the club work then?
So I like to dance, and I like to interact with people. Cam it's different. It's just you and a cam, to interact more with your fans and your fan base, you have to see them up front and personal, so that's what I wanted to do as well.
Okay, so yeah, that makes sense. So you're kind of jumping from being isolated with cam work, and then here I am front and center, and people can do lap dances and everything else separately, and you got to meet your fans. So do you remember any of your cam followers that are local to you that then found out that you're at a club, so they specifically went to the club to go see you in person?
I get that all the time. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Has it ever been the other way around? Someone saw you at the club and then said, oh, I didn't know you did cam work, so they joined up that way?
Yeah, so basically I'm like, if they were to ask, I would be like, yeah, you can, hit me up on my social media, or you can Google me, and that way you can see what I'm really about. So
okay, yeah, so that it sounds like you have all 3 things working then, so you can really kind of get out there as your profile keeps rising and rising. That's going to be like, hey, I can be here, and plus with the content creation part, you have control over that. And the other things, you still have control, the other areas, but you have to kind of collaborate with things and pick and choose and stuff of that nature. No, that's interesting. Have you been to any of the adult conventions yet?
yes, I have.
Okay, what were those experiences like?
So I signed with OC at OC model booth, and then I was at Pro 13 booth as well. It was my first time doing the signing and stuff. I literally had a really great time on both both booths, and I want to say the experiences, it was good. I liked it. I enjoyed connecting with my fans, letting them know, hey, I'm going to be here at this time, and taking pictures and giving them my my signature, and the pictures and stuff, so, and underwear and other things, so it was good. I loved it.
Okay, so again, it sounds like you have all the pieces are in place basically for you, and the more things that you do out there, and even like this, doing interviews, more people can find out about you. And then like in my case, because I cover all kinds of different things, not just the adult world, there could be someone that's watching, a music interview, and they're like, oh, so who's this? That happens a lot. I get messages all the time, and truthfully, the most viewed live streams I have are people from adult that come on. So I think it kind of helps everybody. It helps me, helps the guest, helps the publicist, helps the agent, it helps everybody. Yeah, well, and I think the other thing for me, at least, is that sometimes people forget that if you're a sex worker, you are a person. You do get up in the morning.
100%.
You do take a dump. You go pet your dog and have your coffee or whatever it is, just like anyone else. And sometimes they just get so stuck on this whole, well, this is what they do and that's all they do. It's like, no one's like that 24/7. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
So with yourself, were you, and you kind of mentioned this earlier, but were you always a sexual person, or how far back? I mean, like, did you know, like, in middle school or something, like you're like, yeah, I'm noticing things that I want to take part in?
Yeah. So I want to say, like, I've, masturbated and done other things, during, the teen years and stuff, experienced and all of that. And also, like, I feel like I'm more hornier. Like, I just want more now. I was, but then also I'm just now hornier. Like, I just want, I just want to be fucked and everything else.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate your honesty.
You're welcome.
That's the thing, is that and maybe it's because as you're from teens to 20s, and you're going through life and more life experiences and more sexual experiences and everything, you're kind of realizing the more I do this, the more I want more of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think there's lots of different areas for people like that, where it really starts getting good to them. So, like, if it's, I don't know if you're into, if you're a musician or something, and you start realizing, oh, there's all this other kind of music I want to get into, or other concerts I want to go to, or other places I want to explore. And it's just because you're like, I'm not satisfied. I want more of this.
Yeah. You like, there's so much, to explore within yourself, within, other people. Like, I just feel like there's just more out there to explore. So.
Yeah. Well, and so kind of begs the question, are there certain fantasies or things, either for video or for content creation, or even in your private life, that you haven't done that you really, really want to make a reality?
I'm doing it now. I'm doing it now. Like, every day is, every day is a new day, and like every day is something that I haven't done before. So, yeah.
Okay. Is there anything like for a video company that, because I know they have, do's, don't lists for every performer, yeses and nos. Is there something that is a no for you?
So I wear extensions, so you can't really tell, because it is my hair. But I don't like for, the bottom half of my hair to be pulled. If you're gonna pull my hair, like, it's gotta be like, from here, so that, and like, hitting in the face for sure. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So yeah, the extension thing absolutely makes sense, because if they're pulling
I'm like,
from
I
down,
pay a lot for this hair.
yeah, if you pull it out, you're gonna be paying for it.
Exactly.
Yeah, and any kind of, I know so people that are watching this that aren't familiar, I don't know who those two people are with the porn world, but sometimes things get physical, and the workers know it ahead of time before they're going to sign off on it, before they do the scene. There's safety words, all that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. And some people are okay with it, and some people aren't. That's how it works. So I'm just kind of clarifying for someone's like, what the hell's going on, in that world? It's like, no, it's something consensual.
Not even like that. Yeah, definitely not. Like, everything's so professional, for sure.
Yeah, and as for some people, as they kind of find out this information, in some ways it almost kind of takes away the kink for them, because they're like,
I'm like, no, don't listen to it.
Yeah, it ruins the fantasy or whatever. And it's like, it's so clinical. I didn't know it was like that. It's like, well, shit, what do you think?
True.
we'd have a whole other issue on our hands if things were going on that were not agreed to.
Right.
I know it's been almost a year, but are there any performers in the industry so far that you really, really love working with?
I loved working with all of them that I've worked with. One of them are like, no, a few of them like taught me a little bit about myself, that I didn't even know. So, but yeah, I love them all. I have nothing negative to say.
All right. Is there anybody off the top of your head, any performer that you're hoping to work with in the future, or?
So, it's a production company. I believe it's True Anal. So I'm coming for you.
Okay, so you're a fan of their work then, obviously.
Yes, I love everything about it. Yeah, for sure.
All right. And that was True Anal was the company?
Yes.
I have to look into that. Well, I mean, I have to do research, people.
Yes.
What kind of
research, please?
Yeah. What kind of interviewer would I be? So we've talked about so many different areas of your sex work that you're doing and the different areas and how things are growing for you, and everything sounds like it's on the up and up. What do you have interesting in your life that is not a part of that world? So what are your interests outside of what you're doing?
Like I like to shop. I love, hanging with my family. I'm a nerd. I love to read. I don't really watch much TV. I'm like always busy, to be honest. I'm so busy. If I'm not busy, I feel like I'm not doing enough. So, yeah.
I do know what that feels like. You're somebody that sounds like you have, which makes sense based on what you've been saying for the last 35 minutes. You grind. You're a grinder. You get in there. Yeah, it's kind of like if I'm not doing this, then I'm doing this. If I'm not doing that content, then I'm trying to book another thing over here, or if I'm at the club. Then when I'm not doing any of those things, I'm spending time with my family, or I'm trying to get to that new book, and not leaving holes too often. What's the last book, or maybe a current book that you're reading that you like? What's something out there?
So I'm like more of a science fiction type, like murder mysteries type, and more of like, I don't know, like I just finished the last part of the like, what was it? I'm trying to think of so I don't know if you're familiar with like R.L. Stine.
Mm-hmm.
I like all the R.L. Stine books. So I just read I think it was his last book, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah. I mean, R.L. Stine's been around for a long time. And so when you say you're a nerd because you read books and things like that, was that going all the way back to childhood?
Yes.
Okay. And so besides like having a book in your hand and maybe not watching too much TV, were you an introvert or an extrovert?
I was extrovert for sure. I like to be the center of attention. So I'm like, see me, So, yeah.
Okay, well, that helps with the industry you're in.
Exactly.
Yeah, if you were like, I want to be off here in the corner, that doesn't quite work.
No, I have to shine.
So that's interesting. Yeah, so I had somebody that I used to know here locally that described herself as an introverted exhibitionist. And I was like, how does that work if you're introverted, but you like to be out there and like to show people everything? And she's like, well, I want to do it, but I don't know if I should do it. And so then I just do it. And then I kind of think about it and I go off into the corner. Like, that's kind of weird. But as I got to know her,
she's just shy,
yeah. As I got to know her over the years, she was absolutely right. I was like, this is the strangest thing. She's the kind of person that would be like, you would never think in a million years she would do something, and she just stop and just go do it, be way out there. And
Yeah.
then she'd be over there, Mark, this is my new book that I'm reading right now, and it's so good. And she would like just nerd out about it and everything.
I
And I'm
love
like,
that about it. Yes. I
okay.
love that.
Yeah, and I'm like, whatever floats your boat. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. I've got my quirks and things that I'm into, and people know about it, and some things people don't know about. And it's like, as long as I'm not hurting anybody, and including myself, then more power to you.
Exactly.
When was the last shoot that you did for a video company? Like, how far back are we talking?
So it was just it was last month. And it was for Elegant Angel for sure. Yeah, Elegant Angel.
Okay. Have you had a chance to, because I don't know exactly where a lot of the companies are based out of these days. Has everything been US based, nothing over in Europe?
Nothing in Europe yet, but hopefully.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's so many, for people that aren't familiar with this, there's so many different opportunities depending on where you go and the agents that you have and the networking that you do. And so for folks like Mandy that are getting out there and she's doing so many different things, it just kind of goes from strength to strength to strength. And your reputation is everything. So, if you don't show up to the set correctly, or if you're like a pain in the ass to work with, or, all these kind of things, it gets around real quick. But then if you're the other way around, you're a pleasure to work with, everyone liked you, then they start telling you, hey, book this person, book. And then, because I've had some people ask, well, how come somebody doesn't seem to kind of get where they're supposed to go, and then other people just like shoot up super quick? It's like, well, there's different factors at play here, but it's no different than your job that you're working.
For sure. Yes.
Some people are really well liked and some people aren't, and sometimes there's power and politics shit going on, and other things.
Yeah.
And I see Jake has another question, but do you read graphic novels?
Graphic novels.
Like comic books?
No, but maybe I should. I think I should. I'm gonna start now.
Add it to your list.
Yeah, it's the ones that like they have like the little little air thing, and it has like all of the graphic, or like all the, what is it, the words like at the top, they're saying stuff, right? I think I've actually read a few of those. Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. Some of I'm thinking about like with the Japanese like manga and stuff, some of the hentai stuff that's over there is now in the adult video world. I never thought I would see like tentacle porn and all this kind of stuff. I'm like, holy shit. It's like,
yes.
What? And it's like, okay. And then that's where that home came from. It's from pulling stuff off of a shelf and reading it and looking through it and all that. And they have a whole different thing over in Japan. But yeah. And because I had a guest on that didn't do tentacle porn, but had done something close to it, because she was talking how exhausting it was. And that,
Yeah, I can see that.
yeah, kind of goes back to the question for yourself. When you've been doing scenes either for content or with video companies, have you done a scene that was like, maybe it was longer than you thought it was going to take because they keep doing, cut, start again, and it was just like physically just so freaking exhausting for you?
No, I haven't actually been on one of those sets. I mean, I've heard of those sets, but I mean, that's why your agent tells you to, pack what you need, pack something that you're going to make sure that you're going to be occupied, so.
Okay. Yeah. And it sounds, based on talking to you during this interview, that you would almost welcome that if it was going to be.
I'm like, I'll just have a book, some water, some tea,
Yeah. It's like, oh, we're ready again. Okay. The guest last night had a really good point for the male talent, that sometimes you're doing your pretty girl pictures and getting anything for the social media, for the boxes and DVDs and all that, and so the dude might have to be over there for 30 minutes just sitting.
Yes.
And it's like, okay, we need you now.
Yeah.
It's like, so we need you to perform. We need to.
I mean, pretty much for the girls, it's it's easy. All you got to do is just plug right into us. The men have it a little bit more rougher, I think. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and even like back, like pre-Viagra days, for the guys, it's like, yeah, you need to get hard now, and you need to stay hard. Oh, we need to take a break for whatever reason. Okay, go sit over there, and then we need you back.
Yeah, You better start thinking of some really good stuff, make sure that gets hard because you're going right back.
Yeah, I was telling this story last night that I saw this behind the scenes thing, and you could hear the director on set talking about, we need wood on set. We need wood on set. And, and the dude's over there trying to do his thing, and it's not happening. He's bombing on set, and it happens to everybody at some point. I think eventually they had to just kind of excuse him and get somebody else there. So then they all had to wait for I don't know, like an hour or whatever it's going to take to get somebody else there at last minute. And then that guy had issues.
Oh shit.
Yeah. So then, people are getting frustrated, and the female talent's kind of, I had somewhere I was supposed to be later. So can we kind of get to business here? Can we get anybody that can perform right now? And again, for the general public, these are the things people don't think about. They don't know about. They just think, oh yeah, it's so hot, I'm just going to get there.
I'm just going to bang for hours. Like, no. Some girls have that grip, just to let you know. And you get your bus within, seconds. So
yeah, there was a female talent that was talking about if her male co-star is having issues, then she's going to do whatever she can to try to get him going, basically.
Yeah.
Because hey, we're trying to do the best scene we can. We want the hottest scene. We want the scene that people
because
go,
you want to be that, you want to be nominated, so you go into that scene and you're doing your thing, and you make sure his dick is hard, and you make sure that you're good, and you keep talking to him and how he want how you want it, and make sure he doesn't bust so quickly, but
yeah,
just at it.
everything you just said is exactly true. It's like we're trying to work towards something to, if we get nominated, if we win, if you're going in there with a different mentality, it's kind of like, why are you here?
Exactly. If you don't like it and you don't like your job, then you should not be here.
Yeah, and anyone watching this can relate to that with any job you've ever had. Some of them you love, some of them are kind of okay, and some absolutely suck. And it's like, well, sometimes you have to put up with it until you find something better. And then sometimes you don't find something better. So you're like, I can't take it anymore. So then you just quit, or you get fired, or both. You end up somewhere else. But yeah, at the end of the day, it's like, if you're not there to do the best job you can, it's like, why the fuck are you here?
Exactly. Like, you really need to rethink what you really want to do in life.
Yeah. So like, with yourself, man, like if you're doing content creation and you're coming up with something for your fans, if you're like, I'm just going to do a half-assed thing today. It's like, well, no, you can't do that. Like you said, you're a grinder. You're going to keep doing better and better things, trying to please the fans as much as you can.
Exactly. I mean, because there's other beautiful women out there. So, your fans, I mean, they have multiple, people that they follow, but you want to be that for that person, so.
Yeah, absolutely. It's competition, sometimes friendly competition, sometimes not so friendly competition, but it is absolutely that, because there's also only so much money a fan has to go around.
Exactly.
So like you said, they might have, Mandi's one of them, and maybe there's 2 others or 3 others or something that they follow, but there's thousands of other people that can say, oh, who's this? Who's this? Who's this? It's like, well, no, don't forget me over here.
Like, remember you said, no.
You said you'd never leave my channel. You
said I give it to you better than, no, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
I do see that you have and you mentioned that you love the shop. I love that there's outfits or something behind you.
Yes.
So do you love most of the ladies I know, how many pairs of shoes do you own?
Oh my God. I couldn't, I stopped counting. Literally stopped counting. I want to say, oh my God, I'm in the closet, so there's a lot. There's, the closet's super big, so it kind of goes around.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I want to say maybe over 72 pairs of shoes.
Okay, all right. That's a lot.
Yeah, and that's not that's including my stripper heels as well. So
okay, all right. So that's All right. If you start pushing past 100, then I think it's going to be like, and that's just your shoes too. That's not, everything else that you own
Yeah.
and buy and wear. Um, if you had, let's do one of these things. If you had to pick one pair of shoes, like, house is on fire kind of thing, you can only grab one pair. What pair do you grab?
Definitely my stripper shoes because I can go to work, I can go to work to get some money because if my house burned down, I'm definitely gonna need, some money.
I like the way you think about that. That's very practical.
Yes.
Very practical. Because I think some people would take the sentimental, these are my favorite pair, I've had them
Yeah.
for whatever, and then it was like, yeah, that's not going to help me when I need to be on stage.
Yeah, so I'm a Capricorn, so we're workaholics for sure.
Okay, all right. How many different outfits do you have for when you're doing your club work only?
I have like I have like 4 drawers full. I have like a whole rack like in front of me, like that has like, yeah, a lot. I couldn't tell you.
Okay, so 4 drawers, you kind of want to keep mixing it up every time you're going
Yeah.
to be on shift. And since you like to shop, does that mean you're kind of always looking out for like stuff for content, stuff for when you're at the clubs, that stuff for your personal life?
Yeah, so like I really don't really do online shopping because I get too overwhelmed because I'm like, okay, I want to buy all of this. I usually just go to a store and, buy the things maybe like the day before or the night before. Yeah. I feel a little bit more un, you know, like I don't know, how do I say? Yeah, so basically I just want to grab it and go, you know.
Okay. Okay. Wow. So that means, so if somebody's like, if you have regulars at the club, which I'm sure you do, that they can see you in multiple outfits quite a long time. Then, if you're constantly getting new things.
Right. You always got to look your best for sure.
So I used to work with models as a photographer, so I kind of had the same mentality. And sometimes I literally actually went shopping with them. And so I'm like, well, let's go figure some things out. And so some of the stuff that they would pull out, I'm kind of like, didn't we just talk for the last 30 minutes about what this photo shoot was going to be about? Where does this fit into it? I'm like, no, Mark, but I really, isn't that cute? And I'm like, well, it might be cute, but it's not what we need right now. And so I always knew the ones that were the shoppers and the ones that weren't.
Yeah.
Because the ones that weren't, they left it up to me. And I'm like, are you sure you want to do that?
You're like, but I'm a guy. I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah, I mean, I know the color schemes we're going to need for this photo shoot and where we're going to be, but I think you probably have a better idea of what your taste
Like what's
is.
gonna look, gonna look good on you, what your curves are, definitely.
Absolutely. And so it always surprised me sometimes when we're like, well, Mark, what do you, I'll just wear what you think. And I'm like, no, let's talk about this.
You're like, I want you in a tight mini dress. Can you do that?
Yeah, you know what? Depending if I knew the model well enough, yeah, I might suggest all kinds of things to them, and that would kind of snap them out real quick.
Exactly. They're like, wait, I just want a pair of pants.
Yeah, well, you said, whatever I want.
Exactly.
Come on, Mark. I don't want to do that right now. There's the shoe thing. That's what I was like. I don't know if I had. No, there was a couple models that weren't even into shoes, which I thought was just shocking to me. Even if maybe they don't have shoes into the 70s, but they have at least maybe 20s or maybe 30 pairs of things. And every now and then I find one that's like, Mark, these are the only pair of heels I have. And I'm like, really?
Oh no.
There's not even like a second pair that maybe you think are old or ugly or something lying around somewhere.
Do you have chanclas?
Yeah, so there must be something, and then like, no, this is what I have. So okay, so I just have to know what I have to work with, and that means we need to change what we're going to do because those aren't going to work.
Buy some shoes.
Yeah, and speaking of like shoes and height and this kind of thing, it's actually come up during some of the adult interviews I've done. I think my guest yesterday said she was like 5'2", so I'm kind of curious, how tall are you?
I am 5 foot. Like,
okay,
I want to say 5'1", but when I say 5'1", everyone's like, just say you're 5 foot. So I'm 5 foot.
Okay. Have you worked with anyone yet that is like really, really tall? Not male talent, but female talent. Or have you done female, girl scenes?
I haven't done my like I haven't done it like for like producer wise, like industry. I worked with for doing my collabs and stuff, but I don't who do no, actually I have not worked with a female that is towering over me.
Okay. All right. One of the gals that I interviewed from Adult, that was like 4 years ago. She's 6 foot, and she was like, "All the girls in porn are so small."
She's like, I could play basketball with him.
Yeah, and I remember why this came up, because when I was doing my research, the internet, which lied to me, said she was 5'10", and which is still tall, obviously.
Yeah,
And
you get those little remarks on certain things, and you're like, that is not me. Like, what?
yeah, and then she's the one that corrected me. No, I'm 6 foot. And then she did do a scene, and it was I think I can't remember the title of it, but she was actually the shortest female. So they had a 6 foot, a 6'1", and a 6'2", all in the industry.
Oh,
And
wow.
I'm like, holy crap, that's like being in a forest. So tall.
Like, wow.
Yeah, so I'm thinking, someone 5', 5'1", and then a 6 foot person. And because I saw one of the scenes that this gal was talking about, she said, "Yeah, Mark, people don't understand that when I'm this tall and I'm working on the girl scene, what I have to do to kind of make it look right, because it looks like a giraffe being like around a dog or something."
You're like, mommy.
Yeah, and we're trying to make it hot and sexy and everything, and it's not quite working when I'm this tall. So I have to kind of be bent down, or maybe I'm off camera with my legs, so you only see my torso. And I'm like, I never would have ever thought of this kind of stuff. Yeah, she had all kinds of stories about being too tall. Is being 5', 5'1", has that worked out fine for you? It sounds like it has, but
It has. I like being short. It sucks when you gain a little bit of weight, because then you look like a basketball. But you just gotta maintain your figure, basically. But yeah, I think it works out perfectly. There's a lot of my fans that love that I'm short, for sure.
okay, all right. Yeah, no, like you said, I mean, I'm 5'5", so I'm short for a guy, and the only time that really kind of bothers me is when I'm at a concert.
Shit, yeah, I feel you on that.
Yeah, I see a lot of people's shoulders and heads, and
like pretty much having a jump, like I can't see.
yeah, I've been going to concerts since I was a little kid, and so I'm used to it at this point. But I'm like, man, if I could just press a button for concerts and be like maybe 5'10", not even super tall, just tall enough, then and then press that button to go back to being 5'5", man, I'd be super happy.
Definitely.
Yeah. So what do you have coming up as we're kind of winding this interview down? What's coming up so people and fans can check you out?
So right now, we're in talks of for my year. So maybe Five Guys. So we shall see how that's gonna go.
Okay, all right. And then where can people find you for your content creation?
So you can find me on Pornhub at MANDII ROSE, or you could find me on OnlyFans at MANDII ROSE. Where else? X videos, MANDII ROSE. Clips for sale, MANDII ROSE. Yeah. So,
okay.
many vids, MANDII ROSE. Like, oh crap! I know there's one more.
Let me ask you this: where did you come up with your stage name?
So, I don't know. I always liked the Mandy, but I didn't like the Mandy with a Y. So I'm like, I'm gonna do a Mandy with an I. And then Rose, I like roses, obviously. But yeah. So and then I was like, maybe. And then me and my agent came up with this extra I to make it more, like stand out. So it's Mandy with two eyes now, and then Mandy with two eyes. Yeah.
That's smart, because like when I did a search for you, there's I don't know if that gal's like a musician or something that has, I think it's with a Y or something, that type of MANDII ROSE. And I can tell you this really interesting story though. I had somebody else from Adult, and she was, I came up with a good stage name, and found out there was already a country musician with the same name. So she's like, well, fuck. So she just took her last name, which is actually the same name that you're using, Rose. She just made it Roses, made it plural.
Okay.
And so when I did a search, I was like, why are this country lady keeps showing up, through a Google search? And then eventually I saw some stuff for this other gal, but within probably maybe a year at most, she eclipsed the country artist. So if you did a search for her name, if you did a search for her name with just a singular Rose, she still came up. And so she was like, yeah, I won. I took over. I took that country gal down. So now I'm all over the internet, and she's somewhere all her fans have to deal with me.
Yeah, so there's a wrestler, MANDII ROSE. So yeah. But she spells it with a Y, guys. A Y. Okay, so
see, and you never know. I mean, if your career keeps going the way it's going, that you might be the same person that people search you, and even if it's with the way it is with 2 eyes and everything, and then you still start showing up everywhere over everybody else, and that comes from working hard and getting your stuff out there. So, MANDII ROSE, thank you so much for taking the time today. It was such a pleasure getting a chance to know you and talk with you. I had a really great time, and I would welcome you back anytime you ever want to come back and do another live stream interview.
thank you so much for having me.
Take care and have a great weekend. Thank you everybody in the chat and watching, and I will see you hopefully next week with somebody else, maybe, I don't know. All right, take care everybody.